Hello, everyone. I hope that you all are doing amazing. Today, I have with me Amber Key, and she is a longtime DCOW member. And when I tell you that she made a huge increase, all I'm going to say is she's making well over 100. And would you say it's like a $40,000 increase, a $40,000 jump?
Yeah, about $40,000. Yeah.
Now, I want you to walk us through this process because first you were in media and now you have transitioned to the sales. And a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a big jump. So tell us your story.
Yeah, so I'll start by saying that I was always in sales. I have been in sales the majority of my career, but I was in media sales. So I was selling advertisement to advertisings and I was also in marketing. So I was strictly in the media industry. And then towards the end of my tenure in media, I was like, I can really use the skills and the transferable skills that I've gained in this industry and pivot into another one. I just, like many industries that we're seeing, there's so much change that's happening. And while media is my first love still, I really had to sit with myself and figure out, how I could use the skills that I already have a different experience, and also how I could leverage this to make more money, which is what we all want in the end. And so what I did was I actually went through you, Kamara, to talk about working on my resume. And I think one of the standout experiences that I had with you was our sit down to talk about interview prep.
Yeah.
Because what I was finding was I was interviewing for up to close to a year in media and in other industries. And I was finding that I would go into these interviews thinking that I was prepared, and I wasn't. I didn't have the strategies and the tactics that you and I had discussed. But once I had that hour and a half long conversation with you, everything changed in my interviews, and it really helped me get to the next level.
That is amazing. I'll tell you one thing. Anytime that you're transitioning, you have to apply the skill sets you already have to the new job. And a lot
Yep.
of people, they don't know how to do that. For example, let's just say healthcare, then they want to go be a broadcaster. Well, you can use your interpersonal skills with the patients, but it has to make sense on the resume. I
Mhm.
want to go back a little bit because when you purchase the resume and the LinkedIn, and I think it was the cover letter because that's included,
Yeah.
the primary focus wasn't on money. It was on lifestyle, it was on impact. So tell people, why do you want to make the career change?
I really wanted to make the career change because one of the things that I really love about sales is the ability to kind of be flexible and to make your own schedule. Sales is hard. You're selling a product, you have competition, you're selling yourself, you're marketing yourself. That those are all of the challenges of it, but it is one of those industries where you do have control of your income, how much you make based on, your bonuses or your like commission structure, what have you. Every company is different. But it does allow you to, if you are an entrepreneur like me at heart, you're running your own business. And so that was really something that stood out to me. I was kind of tired of going into an office every day doing mundane tasks over and over and over again. I'm somebody that needs to be like out and about. And so this was the perfect switch for me.
Oh my gosh. So you went from, and it's nothing wrong with being in the office, okay? But you
No, no,
went
no.
from sitting down to saying, listen, are you doing door-to-door sales? Is that what you're doing?
So I'm in pharmaceutical sales. So I have a set number of doctors that I call on, like a list of businesses. So I'm not doing door to door. I'm doing hospital to hospital, but they already
Okay.
know who I am. So yeah.
That is amazing. And yes, we can talk about the interview prep because the main thing that I focus on is confidence. Because when you are talking to people, it's not like you go in, you shake hands sometimes, but 90% of it is via Zoom. So you really have to showcase all of your abilities, your public speaking skills, through the camera. So talk to people a little bit about what you learned in that interview session.
I think what I learned in the interview session, to your point about confidence, it's really important to exude that because people can tell even though you're virtual, even though you're through a screen, people can tell by your body language if you are confident or sure of yourself to get this role. I think one of the things that stood out about your training was for me, um, being able to talk about yourself in a concise way.
Right.
So breaking it down into what the situation was, what are the tasks that you did to get there, what was the action, and then the result. Sometimes when we get nervous, we start to talk in circles, we start to talk over ourselves. And recruiters, that's a red flag for a recruiter. They will go to somebody that can talk to them in a way that's like point A, B, and C. And I
Mhm.
think once I figured out that formula and I learned to breathe, but also have notes on the other side, because the great thing about being virtual is that you can like have some notes right here to keep you on track. Once I did that, my confidence grew.
I love that. And you do
Yeah.
have to have different tactics that work for you. It's because there's so much, and our brains, we are consuming videos, YouTubes, TikToks. And it's like, oh, you asked that question, but listen, I'm diverting over here. So you have to make
Yeah.
sure within interviews you stay focused, but also that you have confidence. Because when somebody is hiring you, especially for a remote job, they want to know that A, you're going to be integral, B, you're going to stay on task, and C, you're going to get the job done. So you're letting them all know that through your voice, through your confidence, and the way you come out on camera. Give people just some encouragement. There was a lot of layoffs going on right now. Over 79,000 people, just got laid off, federal government in one of the departments, and they are actually going for any kind of job they can find. What kind of
Yeah.
encouragement would you give them?
I have a few words of encouragement. I'll give you three things. The first one is it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So it's going to take some time. And you're going to get discouraged because you're going to be on LinkedIn seeing people getting jobs and you don't have one yet. Just remember it's a long game. I would say because I'm in sales, I'm used to cold calling. I know that I call 10 people today, but two people will talk to me. Um, so it's all in the numbers. You should be applying to 20 jobs in a day or like in 2 days, 3 days, whatever you can do, knowing that only two people are going to get back to you. It's a numbers game. So you need to put as many feelers out as you can. That's what I would say for the first thing. I also would go back to our original point, which is you'll see these jobs outside of the industry and you'll tell yourself, I don't have any experience in that. I'm coming from media where I was filming promos and now I'm selling medications in the healthcare field. Like it's apples and oranges. But what I do have is the communication skills and I know how to sell myself and I know how to sell a product. So find those pieces, those transferable skills that you can apply in another role. Don't get discouraged. And then the last thing I would say is, build your network, talk to everybody, you talk to people. We don't talk to people anymore. Like, don't be just talking to people on Instagram and on LinkedIn because everybody's on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Talk to the people in the grocery stores, talk to your aunts, talk to your uncles, talk to your friends of friends of friends. Like, talk to everybody because everyone has somebody that can help you out. And I said three, but I'm going to give a bonus because I think it's really imperative now, especially to have a side hustle. So start a little small business. Like it could be doing greeting cards or you could be selling products on Amazon. Just have something. We always need to have multiple streams of income, especially in today's day, because you never know when there's a rainy day. That's what
No,
I
I
would say.
definitely understand that. And I like that because, there are some people who they've worked 20 and 30 years. And I sit on the phone with them. They said, come on. We were in the day where there was no such thing as a side hustle or make sure you do this. People were doing it, but it wasn't broadcasted. And people need to develop another skill. Sales will always be active. Sales will, I don't care if you work for Walmart. Okay, you're going to have to know how to sell some of those products, especially when you talk about corporate, not just like the regular merchandise or the cashier. You have to
Yeah.
really know, okay, supply chain and demand. And last thing, what did you learn throughout the process? Because as you went through your interviews, you had different interviews. Some you turned down, some you didn't get, and you said, listen, I'm going to wait for the right one. So what was that process like?
What was the process like waiting for the right one or like now that I'm in?
Yeah, waiting for the right one.
I think as someone who is not a patient person, I'm the first to tell you that I am not patient, but I really trusted myself and I trusted God for the people that are listening that are faithful. I am very faithful. I trusted Him because without Him, I wouldn't be where I am. I definitely had those days where I was like, I'm about to give up. I guess I have to stay in this job, and there's nothing else out there for me. But I was like, no, you have the skills, you can do the job. And now that I'm in the job, I feel like this is was such a cool pivot because I don't have a health background. I have a different background from another industry. I bring a level of expertise that my peers don't have. So you also have to remember that like sometimes it's great to be in a new industry because you bring fresh eyes to something. So look at yourself as an asset. Don't
Mhm.
look at yourself as like, oh, I don't know anything yet. I'm new to this. Like that's where the confidence piece comes because everyone is valuable in some way. So just remember that.
Yes, everyone is valuable. Well, Amber, thank you so much. And Amber also has a podcast. I highly recommend listening to it. I've actually bought a advertisement for her podcast before. So if you're looking to do that, please do it. She's available on Spotify, YouTube. Before we go, just give people a little background on that.
Sure. Thank you so much for the plug. The podcast is called A Bright Idea. It's a show where I sit down with entrepreneurs to talk about the aha moments that launch their businesses. So it's an educational business podcast, but we do have a little fun in there. Um, Depending on the industries that people talk about, what you'll learn is like things about different industries. You'll learn about business, how to grow a business, scale, sustain. So if you're interested, check it out. Like Kamara said, it's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We're on Instagram. Follow us and take a listen.
Yay! Well, congratulations. I'm so excited. Make sure you all follow Amber. Many more great things to come. And this is Cam's YouTube channel. Again, if you need any resume, LinkedIn, cover letter, or interview prep, have a team. Okay, so a lot of people they end up interviewing with somebody that's probably on the senior level on my team, but they do a phenomenal job. And again, thank you all so much for watching.